Hello there. Normally I'm with you on Mondays. This is Bobby with 5 Minutes with Kerusso. But Whitney's given me an invitation to speak to you today. And so I'm glad to have that opportunity. What can I say to you today that would speak to God's relevance, to the relevance that His Word has to us? Why is He important? Why is His Word important? Why is it important to listen to Jesus and follow Him? There are a lot of things that draw our attention nowadays. Here in this country, as in countries all around this globe, we're dealing with pandemic and rising numbers one week, falling numbers in another place in another week, and rising again. And how do we deal with that? The political turmoil that is part of our nation is upsetting. The social unrest is upsetting. That's just the United States. But that really has been going on in other countries for a long time as well. Where is God in all this? Where is His voice? What is He saying to us? How do we get through all of this? I actually believe that God is very relevant in such times. And I just wanted to share a little thought with you here. And it really is rooted in Matthew chapter 5, the first several verses of that chapter. It's a message that Jesus was giving to people who lived around the world from the United States in a country called Israel. Some very, very difficult times for them that was full of unrest and turmoil as well. A lot of injustice going on in that country. And there were a bunch of people who came to Jesus to listen to Him speak about what He called the kingdom. And what He said about the kingdom was really probably unfathomable for them to get a hold of, difficult for them to get a hold of. He said things like, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. Blessed are the pure in heart. Blessed are the peacemakers. Blessed are those who show mercy. Blessed are those who are persecuted." And you listen to what Jesus is saying in those beginning words of that message He had to those distraught people, and you begin to think, that just kind of seems upside down. The values that Jesus was lifting up are not the values that we lift up. We kind of diminish those, and we hold up other values. That's human nature. But you see, the kingdom of God is kind of upside down from the values of the world. And Jesus is calling people to live upside down lives. Actually, the reality is He's calling us to live right side up when the world is upside down. There's in a little town in East Tennessee called Sevierville. I think I'm saying that right. There's this house called Wonderworks. It's built upside down, and it's a big tourist attraction. Next time my family and I go out the way, we're talking about going there to walk through this upside down house. And it's kind of crazy to think about walking through an upside down house, much less living inside an upside down house. But what about living in a kingdom that's upside down from the world? That's really crazy. That's radical. But that's what Jesus calls us to. Is that relevant to us? Is that realistic to call people to that kind of a life? Well, if you think about the kingdom being upside down, it may not seem that realistic. But what if the kingdom is really right side up and the world is upside down? What if this country is upside down that I live in, or the country you live in is upside down? What if the values are inverted? And we're being called to turn things right side up. Well, just think about this. What do you see happening around you in the particular country you live in? The values that are being held up, the perspectives that are being pushed and forced upon others, or people are trying to force on others. What's coming out of that? Do you see good coming? Do you see peace coming out of that? Do you see people being valued out of that? Or do you see people being talked down and looked down by both sides or all sides. But this kingdom that Jesus calls us to be a part of and to live by its values lifts people up, lifts other people up, not just self. That's inverted from the way the world thinks. But that's what Jesus says his kingdom's about. So give that some thought this week as you look around you and know that Jesus is calling you to live in such a kingdom, living right side up when the world around you is upside down. I hope this helps you out. Read those verses in Matthew 5. Thank you for spending time with us, and keep checking on us on Fridays. Be blessed.